I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
Yeah, this is a video about a topic that is near and dear to me. I have a passport. I used to live in Europe. I now live in South America by way of Houston, Texas. I will finally break this down for you and explain what's happening and why so that you can stop asking. There's a gay man that's going to give his commentary. A gay man, you got to understand, is going to see this from a perspective of a black woman because they're both losing access to the one thing they want, which is black men. They want sex with you as a black man and they want your money. He had another man meeting him from Ecuador, likely so he can have sex with, but yet here he is judging other men who are choosing to leave the United States because of the culture. I don't know if anybody's been keeping score, but if you're black in the United States, it's something called the Black Army Revolution, where the black community and the gay community have merged together. If you go to a black club, it is essentially now 50% a gay club. As a straight man, you have to watch other men grind and gyrate on each other while you're trying to holler at a pretty woman. The women don't seem to care and they don't notice. However, the men do. It makes us feel uncomfortable because the shit's fucking disgusting in our opinion. I don't want to see two niggas rubbing their mustaches together, kissing, grinding. And and then most of the time they dress like you. They got chains on, jewelry, but then there's always that one real skinny one. And you're like, what the fuck? Why is this other nigga so frail and the rest of the niggas look normal? It's because it's a group of gay dudes, and it takes you a minute to realize you're actually in a gay club. If you're at a club and there's a lot of gay people there, it's a gay club. I don't care what nobody says. You don't have to have rainbow flags on the front door. It doesn't need to be a woman with a haircut like Ellen DeGeneres taking the money. You're essentially in a gay club. We're tired of that. Also, if you want to go to a strip club, there'll be less gay men there. But guess what? All of the strippers are now coming on the internet telling everybody how black men are tricks because we're in there helping them. You know, the fantasy that a lot of men have is, right, is that we're going to these venues and we're patronizing them because we're helping a single mom who needs help with money. A lot of men really thought that. I come from the club industry, a lot of my customers, and I would tell people to run with that. Now women are on these podcasts making fun of men because we thought we were helping you. Now you're letting us know that you're just playing a game with us. You really don't like us, yada, yada. So now we don't want to go to strip clubs. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but depending on where you live, the club rates are going down. The strip club rates are going down. It doesn't make any sense for us to go anymore. The fantasy is gone. We don't feel appreciated. And that's something that men must feel. I'll tell you a secret. Men want to get married. Men will get married. The other part of the secret, we're not marrying you. We're not going to get married in the United States. We're going to find wives elsewhere, and we're not coming back. We'll make money over here. We'll keep a home here. We have family here. We will have a family elsewhere. We are no longer getting caught up where we're going to get sued by a woman that we met, typically a black woman, who, if you're a black man, you looking for women who are dark-skinned, who are beautiful, who are going to love you. So you're going to gravitate towards black women. A lot of men are now branching out to other races, but you're noticing one thing, you're having the same problem. Is because it's not due to race in the United States, it's due to being in the United States. American culture unites women regardless of racial background, which is a problem. So because of that, we have to find women in other backgrounds from other countries, and they make way better wives. Men do not want to get divorced. Women do. It doesn't serve a man. No man benefits from a divorce in the United States, but it benefits the women. If you're smart, if you do get married nowadays, you're going to ask for a prenup, and then you're going to watch her short circuit when she finds out she can't sue you in a few years and take half of whatever little or whatever lot you have. People act like, oh, you don't really have any big money, so you don't got nothing to worry about. That's not true. That little 75,000 getting cut down to 45, or what about what you've saved up? You've been building. You're a man. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do that. You're trying to have a house. What if you do want to have kids? Now you have to worry about somebody not only making you pay them alimony, but you have child support and all these different things that can prevent you from moving around and living how you want to live. This is Anton Daniels. Some of you may know him. Some of you may not. He's out of Detroit. I used to live in Detroit. It's crazy. I never ran across him, but he's a smart guy. And he's actually listening to this gay guy give his opinion about seeing a lot of black men in line in Cartagena going through customs. I said the same thing. I live in Cartagena now. I have an apartment there. I live on the beach. It's beautiful. I love the food. It's a healthier place to live. And it's safer. People keep thinking you go to these third world countries that it's going to be like Detroit or Chicago or LA. It's not. The problem with those cities is you have black culture. In these other countries, it's not dominated by black culture. Yes, you have pickpockets and stuff, but it's less dangerous when you're dating women in these other countries than it is in the US. I'm looking at men that are getting unalived in Las Vegas, being drugged by two little 304s while he's walking through the casino. These women are on camera. You think they care? They'll still go to your room and blow your brains out. I'm watching men that are leaving clubs in Atlanta. I'm hearing rumors about men in Dallas. I'm hearing rumors. I already knew about the setups in Chicago. I knew about that already. So to pretend like you're actually putting yourself in danger going to another country is ridiculous. But what it is mental manipulation, because the gay men and the black women, they want you to stay here. You're their hustle. Any business, when their customers start to go shop somewhere else, they're going to come out with rumors about the other location. They're going to say things that kind of make the place sound bad because they want you to come back. Yeah, we're not coming back. It's too beautiful elsewhere. Now, Colombia is only one location. You can go to Brazil. You can find a wife. You can have children. And she's going to stay with you. She's not going to want to get a divorce after 3 years. I ask you to give her a bunch of money. In these other countries, they don't reward women for destroying families. You're only going to survive if you keep the family together. There's no incentive like it is in the United States for her to just say, I don't know, I just decided I want to go have sex with some other guy, so I wanted to get a divorce. I'm watching that woman that does, she does the dating show, Kendra G. And this heavyset black woman gets on there and says, I had a great husband. I met another guy I wanted to have sex with. So I divorced my husband of 19 years with 3 kids. I divorced him so I can go have sex with this other guy. It didn't work out. Another guy, my husband, we're divorced now. So I need to find someone else. Imagine that husband, all those years of supporting this woman, paying for her, being there for the birth of his children, and then to watch it all just get washed away because she decided she wanted to go see with someone else. And then she brags about it. The way Tiana Taylor is bragging about getting her back blown out after she just robbed Shumpert by some African actor. It's horrible. It's a lot of pain that comes along with dealing with these American women that a lot of dudes like myself, we just happen to avoid. We avoid it because we don't do relationships in the United States no more. It's crazy. I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only one that stopped dating American women seriously. Recreational use only. I'm really good friends with a lot of women. We party, but it's all paying for box in a roundabout way. If I go get a haircut, $50 for a haircut. Am I getting a haircut so I can go stare at myself in the mirror? No, I'm getting a haircut so hopefully some woman is going to notice it. That's paying for box. We go out for drinks. If I buy bottles, paying for box. If I buy food and I take some girls out, we go eat, paying for box. Gas, paying for box. Entry into the club, paying for box. Clothes, paying for box. It's all paying for box. Just in a roundabout way. The trick is you're doing the same thing in another country, except you're doing it for 1/5 of the price. Your haircut is 1/5 of your haircut's $10. Your phone bill's $3. Your food bill for two people on a date is 19 American dollars. Your rent, if your rent's $2,000 here, it's $700 there. You're still paying for box in other countries. It just costs less, but the women are better quality. They're not necessarily looking to rob you. They're looking to meet men because they're looking to get married too. You know, these women, when you wake up, they're literally at your house still with you. They're with you all day. They'll cook for you, take you around. They're cool people. Everybody's not now. Yes, there's men who are going on these dating websites. How is that any different than the United States? Oh yeah, these guys are on Tinder. How's that different than seeking arrangements? Matter of fact, we have Tinder in the United States. You think a lot of these women aren't meeting these guys on Tinder? They go out for dinner, they go out for drinks. When she's trying to go home, she's like, yeah, let's go to my house. Oh, actually, if you want to come over, I'm down for all the fun, but I'm gonna need $300 American. You think that doesn't happen on a nightly basis? And think what? The dude's already $500 in, taking you out on a date. You think he's gonna just say, oh well, that's too much, I'm not paying that, let me just give up? No. He's gonna go that extra mile, pay the extra $300, and he's not going to tell anybody about it. That's also scamming him as well. So a lot of men are tired of dealing with that. They don't want to deal with that no more. They'll rather get more bang for their bucks. Also, they want to avoid the gay culture and the black women. The reason I keep saying black women is because this guy is going to harp on black men being in this line. But there's no other, there's not Latino men coming down here. There's not that many white men trying to come, because those cultures have good quality women to choose from still. It's the black culture that's the problem. And that's why these brothers are escaping. However, because this argument is one that's hard to articulate for a lot of men, for whatever reason, they don't want to have these conversations, so they don't argue. I'll talk to you about it. I don't give a fuck. We can speak. My Spanish is my first language, so I don't mind living in another country. It's perfectly fine for me. However, for these other men, they're going out of their way, out of their comfort zone, and I commend them for it. But this punk, the gay dude, he is sitting here trying to make fun of them because he's not getting any action down there. So I'll let you listen to what's going on.
I traveled to Cartagena to meet one of my friends who was traveling from Ecuador just for the weekend. It was my first time in Cartagena. I got it here. Y'all did not lie about the passport, bro. Baby, I got off the plane. I took a little video while I was in the immigration line. You hear me? The line was at least 2 hours long to get through immigration. I promise you, I'm not lying right now. They probably had 5 in this immigration line. Everybody else was black men.
That makes perfect sense. There doesn't need to be any women coming down there. The money is in America. The women are chasing the money. Now, if you're in one of these other countries and you don't have citizenship in the United States, the money has to come to you. And you're going to do what you got to do to become the kind of woman that's desirable. In the U.S., what women do is they get all types of surgery. They take all these thirst trap pictures on the internet and they hope they can bait a man. What the women are doing in these other countries is no different. It's just going to be a different price and you're going to get more from it. Because in their countries, there's no incentive from the government where they're going to be able to sue you for child support and alimony when you guys break up. If you guys don't work out, then she's just on her own. There is no incentive. And until things go back to that, until things are fair with the family court, the birth rates and the marriage rates are going to continue to decline. And even though we will still live and have residency in the United States, they're going to lose their best and their brightest to other countries. Once another one of these countries, whether it's going to be Costa Rica, whether it's Colombia, whenever one of them gets their stuff together and it becomes closer to a lifestyle that you have in the United States, but with a better family court option where men are not going to be punished for having sex with women and being with women, where they're not going to be weaponized against us. In the United States, these women don't even love these kids. The kids are used as a tool to extract money from men. If it wasn't for the man's money, these women don't even like the kids. They don't even care about them. Are you guys not keeping score? I keep score. I do shows about this. So there's things that other people don't want to bring up and point out that I'm going to do. I'm looking at my man Anton right now, and I can see the look in his eyes. I've seen it before. Yeah, he can say today he's not interested. But one day, things could change. One day, his wife might meet somebody and decide she wants to date. And then Anton has been with her for a very long time, and Anton has done very well in the YouTube space. He also is in real estate. So, and I've tracked his success. And I've only been following him for a few months. If another man gets in her ear and tells her that she's entitled to a certain percentage and he wants to love her and be with her, and she's tired, or she has one small crack in that relationship can be exploited. Maybe it's her personal trainer. You don't know. Or he could be a younger guy. You never know. Never say never. And then when the smoke clears after about 12 to 24 months, Anton will be single again, and it's nothing going to be but nothing but American women vultures who know who he is because of his celebrity status, taking cracks at him. But he's a smart man, and he's going to eventually come across a show like this one, and I'm going to guide him to why he should continue. Because see, once you're a married man, you're always going to be a married man. You're never going to be able to just go back to being a bachelor. You're going to need another wife. I'm going to help him find another wife. He's going to watch my videos, and he's going to know where to go look for another wife that he's going to stay with till the end, that he's not going to have to pay, that it's not going to be incentivized for her to just leave his ass high and dry. Not saying that's going to happen, God forbid, but if it does, you want to be prepared. Like I always say, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So he's going to say that he's not interested in this lifestyle, but that's today. Things change, Anton, as we all know.
And said, "Oh, there's a story here. I mean, they was coming in groups. The group that was in front of me was a group of 10, bitch. A group of 10 that came from Philly.
Came from Philly. Have any of you guys ever met a woman from Philadelphia that was beautiful? What does she sound like? How does she talk? Does she drop the N-bomb on you a lot? Is she hyper aggressive and dangerous and thugged? Yeah. Or is she just a soft, feminine, pretty woman? Let's be honest. These are some of the East Coast women are some of the hardest women to be with. It gets better the closer you get to DC. They become more feminine, but they're still American. You're trading one set of problems for the other. Really, the problem is American women, because American laws and American family court are the problem. I counsel and I talk to hundreds of men a month, and I give them my personal advice. I've dodged a lot of bullets, but I've seen a lot of my friends get hit. I take their stories. I formulate formulas to give the people so that they can make better decisions for themselves. It's not necessarily racial. It's cultural. It's American culture, because our government and our laws enable a certain type of behavior. So Anton's hearing this and he's smiling his ass off right now, beard and cheeks up, because in the back of his subconscious, this is something that's on his mind. You never know when you're going to have to just bug out. You live somewhere like he does in Michigan. You think it's safe to go everywhere? You think people don't know who he is? You think people don't think about doing something to him, or wonder if they can catch him? You think he's not on the menu somewhere? And it's not like he's here in Texas like me, where if you put me on the menu, you might be on my menu. Good luck. We have a culture of that here in Houston. That's why I live here and I left LA. In LA, I'm a sitting duck. In Houston, you're a sitting duck. It just depends on how you want to look at it. But now we're hearing about men moving to other countries where your money goes a lot further, and the women are going to worship you and treat you better because they appreciate men. It's crazy that in the United States, if you tell a woman she should worship her man, they argue with you about it. And they counter you and say, I shouldn't worship no man. Why shouldn't you? You don't want to work. You want to stay home. You want somebody who's going to take care of you and protect you. Like basically like a god, but yet you don't want to worship me. I feed you. I'm there for you. If you're sick, if you're hungry, if you're hurt, if somebody touches you, I'm right there. But you act like it's no big deal because the internet tells you that it isn't, but it is. And they don't figure that out until they hit the wall, 34, 35, 36, or to 40. And the men don't want them no more. So what they do is I've been noticing this where I live at in Cartagena. I'm seeing a lot of sisters, big old, older, hefty ones, hanging out in front of the clubs. And I'm like, yo, who the hell has invited her here? What is she doing? And I record them and I make videos about it. But they're there and they're making their own videos trying to shame men that are in the United States who are having the same bright idea. Baby, it doesn't work. What do you understand? What don't you understand about once we're done with you, we ignore you altogether? The men that are these men right here that are in the line waiting for passports, they're not about to fly back to Philadelphia and go to a club to meet women. They're going to go back to Philadelphia and they're going to work. And they're going to schedule their next trip back to South America. They're no longer dealing with American women, black, white. When you meet Spanish women in the United States, it's a risk, even the Asian ones, because she can still sue you in a few years. It's not the same. We don't want to be held hostage by women anymore. So that's why we have to go to these other countries. That's why Anton has this smile on his face. At the end of the day, he's married. He's a hostage. There's no fault divorce in Michigan. I don't know if he has a prenup. All I know is that he's built a lot since he's been with his wife. She can take it from him if she wants to. That's why he's intrigued. But he's going to say he's not that intrigued. The gay guy is upset for the same reason why these black women are upset, because they're losing their target demographic. They're losing their clientele. And they're going to just have to learn to live with it. But let's finish the rest of it.
I was looking at them in line, download Tinder. I said, the people did not fucking lie.
Well, so Anton wants to know, how does it work with Tinder? Tinder is an app, geolocation services. Once you download Tinder, once you land in another country, it can triangulate where you are based on the towers, and it's going to connect you with women in that area. I heard Tinder is no different than Seeking Arrangements or any of these other dating sites. He's just mad that there's no Grinder in Colombia. So that's why he's mad. But with Tinder, it's just like anything else. I live down there. There's not just Tinder. There's other dating sites where if you want to meet women to go out to dinner and go do stuff with, they're available. And guess what? You're not going to have to pay $500 and all these expensive dates and expensive. It's going to be cheap for you as an American. And it's going to be an experience that she's probably never had. You might be the first American she ever met. It's not like there's a lot of us going down there, but there's way more of them. This is their country. If you go to different parts of Colombia, they've never even met somebody from the United States. What you consider chump change is what they consider, that could actually help their lives and help their families. I live in the U.S., right? I was living in the U.S. My ex-girlfriend, her family came and lived with me. Mom, grandma, people from her whole family. But they're talking about, you go down there, their whole family. How's that any different in the U.S.? You never had a girlfriend that had a mom or aunt or grandma? They never had to come live with you when you're in a serious relationship or you get married? Get the fuck out of here. It's the same thing, except these people will actually appreciate you and tell you thank you. You could take a whole group of people here in America out for dinner, pay for it in front of everybody, and not one of them will reach over, not one woman will reach over and say, hey, from all of us here, thank you for feeding us. It's not a part of the culture anymore when it comes to women. They take us for granted. That's why these men are not here looking for sex. They're here escaping the culture. If they meet, I've met a lot of these brothers, and he's right. The East Coast is closer to Colombia than it is for me on the West Coast. On the West Coast, a lot of my friends, they go to Mexico, and they go to a place called Hong Kong. Yeah. They said they'll rather go to Hong Kong and spend money than go to any clubs in LA and waste money on women. They don't want to do it no more. It doesn't make sense. But if you're on the East Coast, it's a quick flight down to Cartagena. Then the closer than going all the way to Mexico. When I'm there, I meet a lot of brothers that are in fraternities. So a lot of these guys are with their frat brothers, their Qs, their Kappas, their Alphas, their Sigmas, and they're with their group of friends, and they're all going down there together. Most of these times, they're not even down there hollering at women. They're on the beach with their boys. It's a vacation that's not going to break their bank, but also there's no gun violence. There's no stabbings. There's no fights. I go down there, hundreds of black men on the beach, hundreds of black men in the clubs, none of the black culture, none of the fighting, the drama, fighting over women, people getting shot, all that ghetto, man. That's only a certain part of the black culture. The rest of the black culture doesn't want to deal with it. But eventually you figure out a lot of those problems are centered around the women. The further away from liking black women you get, the longer you'll live. Men that are obsessed with beautiful black women and big fat asses, they die young. Because the women with those figures that look like that usually hang out in the most dangerous environments. So you have to go risk your life just to meet women that look like that. But men who are into white women, they live to be in their 70s and 80s because those environments are a lot safer. Now, if you go to another country, you can meet women who have the build that you like, beautiful dark skin, but they got natural long hair and legs and just beautiful bodies. But they speak another language, they live in another country, but you don't got to worry about getting killed just to get to them. And that's why we go there. That's why we move there. That's why we make arrangements. We're not going to tell you our plans, but that's the plan. And that's why we're down there now. Look at Anton, just thinking about it. Look at this man. I see him all the time. Now, people used to call me Smiley. I smile a lot. That's this man. He ain't even got to the good part. Look at this. He's anticipating. Anton Daniels, if you ever see this video, brother, I understand where you are. I've been there before. And I used to live in Michigan. I used to live in Oxford, outside of Lake Orion. I bought properties in the subdivision out there. I used to live in Livingston County. Beautiful women in Detroit. Unfortunately, they're American. And you cannot really marry American women. I bet you once, if he ever gets a divorce, God forbid, I hope he doesn't. I bet you he won't do it again. I bet you he'll never do it again. But let's continue listening because he just had questions about Tinder. I explained it to you. So
when you go to these other countries, and I'm genuinely asking a question because I am not aware. When you go to these other countries, you can download an app that is serviced in that country.
Absolutely. Your phone still works in these other countries. Depending on your carrier, you still get phone calls there with or without roaming. You just need to have an international plan. And yes, apps. Now, instead of DoorDash or Uber Eats, they have other apps that we use to get our food delivery, our alcohol delivery. And actually, we don't have a lot of ATM machines everywhere. So you can get cash delivered to you from a delivery driver. We have really good security. We need that kind of security in the US, but we don't have it in most apartment buildings. But yes, you can they have apps for everything, just like they do here. It's the same thing. So that's to answer your question, Anton. Yes.
Like, is it a separate app? Does it have translation? Is it in English?
They're not in English. You can translate it, and that's done through Google. They'll automatically translate some of these apps for you. If they have a website or an app, they'll do the translations for you so you can understand it. But initially, they're all going to be in Spanish.
What does that look like? Because he's saying that people were downloading Tinder.
Well, because, in the U.S., you got to buy Tinder, and then they have premium, then they have gold, then they have platinum, and you're just on there, and it's fake. In Colombia, you get on Tinder, women, it's just like over here in America. You meet a woman on Tinder, she's going to I want to go out tonight, but, I don't have anything to wear. I don't have a babysitter. I don't have gas. It's the same thing, except it's cheaper. Same thing. You're still paying the same amount of money. You're still paying the same for the same things. It just costs less, but it's the same thing, and the women are going to look better. They're going to be in shape. There's no fat women in Colombia. The food don't allow it. That's how you understand they're poisoning us in the U.S. When you go down to Colombia, if you try to sneak food from America on a plane into Colombia, you'll be arrested because the chemicals in the food in the U.S., are so toxic that they're illegal in the US. There's no such thing as watermelon with no seeds in Colombia. They're killing us here. That's why a lot of us are leaving. We go down there. We're trying to, a lot of these men, they couldn't do what I do because they don't speak Spanish. If they could learn easy and move, they would, but they just come down every couple of months. But because they speak English, they're stuck in the US. You have to branch out. But in Thailand, it's more favorable for Americans because a lot of people there speak English. In other countries, the Philippines, Cambodia, those are also really good places for expats. However, it's a lot of these men are now finding ways to survive in other countries, or they're waiting until they retire. You don't know how many brothers I meet in Colombia. And they're like, my son is 12 right now. When he turns 18, I'm living here full time. I'll be retired. I'll be 50 something. I'll be 60. I have my retirement. A lot of them are ex-military. A lot of them have been working for companies in the US. Unfortunately, some of them are divorced. They got to deal with that. They got child support. But the clearing in their future, the light at the end of the tunnel is knowing that there's a country like Colombia or Brazil where they can take the money that they have, live somewhere, be happy, have a woman, have a family, a woman that cooks for you, cleans for you, takes care of you, and you can be happy. You don't got to be stuck in the United States where somebody's going to just walk up and blow your brains out for sport because they like your chain or because you said something to their woman or just because that's just a part of the music and the culture. It's way safer over there than it is here.
So how do you do that? Like, we want my picture being taken, and the fullness of it. If anybody can let me know inside of the comments, and I always like to link back to the content creator to give them credit.
And Anton's a content creator. I'm going to link back to him in the description so you guys know who he is if you don't already know who he is. So
the link back to it will be in the description. Do you guys download the app? Do you just hit the streets? Do you go to the club?
Well, the smart thing to do is it's because it's Colombia, you want to go to the beach. The beach is free. You can go to the beach. You can get like a little table area with some chairs. You can go get in the water. There's people that come around. They'll serve you drinks and food. It's very cheap, very inexpensive. But there's just beautiful women, local women, who come from all over South America to Cartagena, where I live, and they just hang out at the beach and they're just looking for men. It's just like when you go to Atlanta. Women from all over the United States fly to Atlanta. They go to the clubs looking to find a rich ball player or a rapper or just a regular nigga with money. How is it any different? Women I know fly from all over the country and go to LA. They go to Nightingale, or they used to go to Cheetahs, or they go to any of whatever clubs are popping in LA. And they're hoping somebody with money is going to say, oh, I got a table. Y'all can come drink for free. Oh, y'all hungry? We're going to Barry's Deli. We're going to Jerry's. We're going here. Y'all can come eat for free. Oh, but it's no different than in the US, except it's less expensive. It's safer. And there's no incentive for her to make up a story about you to get you arrested so she can sue you. People don't understand. When you meet some of these women in the US, you're rolling the dice every time you go into a hotel room or she comes to your house and it's just you and her. I don't have that issue. Personally, I only do threesomes. I don't do one-on-one sex. My girlfriend will tell you, anybody will tell you, unless there's another woman there, not because I'm just a freak, but because I like witnesses. I know Chris Brown. I know a lot of these other dudes in LA. I've watched what happened when they try to get free vagina and smash women. You can't do that. You got to have precautions in place to make sure you protect yourself. Because once she gets caught cheating, or she sees you with another woman, if she feels like she didn't really get much out of the deal, she wants more. She thinks you got it. She's gonna try to get it. You're watching it happen with Shannon Sharp right now. You can be Shannon Sharp in a heartbeat. You don't got to be a millionaire or trillionaire to have it happen. It can happen to anybody. Anybody's on the chopping block. Somebody can make up a story about you and somebody's going to believe it. And if you don't have any proof that it's not true, you're done. Why do you think they come up with stories about men from the 90s? How's he going to prove his innocence? He can't. But that's the thing. That's the part of being in the U.S. That's the hustle. That's why these black men are out of here. We're watching other men get set up and lose everything right before our eyes. We're done with it. We're done. And then you got a gay dude, Mr. Gay Man. You got access to all the DL brothers in America now. All these men don't want those gay dudes. You have all the access. You and the black women, y'all can have all the men in America. You ain't got to worry about us no more. Y'all good. Y'all should be happy we're leaving. Be grateful we're gone. Say thank you.
When you go, are you seeing a whole lot of other black people?
Absolutely. I go to the beach. It's 99% brothers from the East Coast. A lot of them are older. And like I said, fraternities, professionals, just hanging out with their boys on the beach, drinking. A lot of these dudes have only dealt with black women their whole life, so they're scared to speak to Colombian women. And guess what they do? They just look at them. It's rare that they smash. They go to the clubs. Like I said, a lot of these brothers are in their 50s and they're older, so they don't be up late. But they'll go to the club, but it takes them a little time to get their bearings. But once they do, they meet one Colombian girl they like, and they just stick with her. I know dudes that go to Brazil, they get married. I know dudes that went to Colombia and they got married. I got friends in the Dominican Republic. They moved there and got married at 39, 43, 47, 51. In love, still married to this day, not getting a divorce. That's what men want. But you can't have that in the U.S. So like I said, until the laws in family court in the U.S. change, the United States will continue to collapse. Family is what made this country strong. No more families is going to destroy this country. And it's not, and then remember, having a wife with children and take care of your family are hallmarks of white supremacy, according to the black community. So you got to understand, men that don't believe that are leaving these countries. They're leaving the U.S. now, going to other countries to find love and find families. And they're going to have them, regardless.
Is it primarily black people? Is it also white men? Because I know white men was the original passport bro. Well, maybe not passport bro, but I know that they were the original passporters and military guys, right? And so now that we've popularized certain cultures on the internet, that is now available to everyone. And so I'm asking these questions for insight because,
well, Anton, white men can meet a white woman in the U.S. and he can still have a family and have children. And depending on how the wife was raised, he doesn't really necessarily need to go to another country to get married. Depending on his preferences, yeah, he might want an Asian woman. They last longer in relationships. They're more submissive. And if that's what's going to work for you, and honestly, that might end up being what works for me. I'm Latino. I'm Cuban. I don't like Cuban women. Personally, I don't. I don't date them. I do deal with my girlfriend now is Dominican. Am I necessarily very happy with her? I'm not, because she lives in New Jersey. She's Americanized. She's not going to see this video. She doesn't even know I have a channel, so I can talk about her. I don't like Puerto Rican women. They remind me of my mother. My ex-girlfriend is in my room right now. She's Puerto Rican and white. Me and her have a lot of issues. Well, she's Panamanian and white. And she's in there. She's doing her little ad-lib, whatever. Me and her have a lot of issues. I've had an Asian girlfriend before. We had no issues. The only issue was I moved away. And I should have stayed, but I had no idea. I thought anybody can do that. And then you grow and you learn that it's not always the same. A lot of men are going to go to Colombia for the fun, but when it's time for a wife, they're going to go to Thailand, the Philippines. One of my best friends in America is married to a Thai woman, and he's the only dude I know that is actually successfully married right now. The only other man I know besides him that's successfully married in California is married to a woman from Japan. What does that tell you? Nobody I know successfully married decided to marry a black woman. So does that mean that they're racist and oppressive? Or does that mean the culture doesn't promote family? Any black person to tell you that Sinners was the best movie they ever seen and that having a family is the hallmark of white supremacy. Having a wife and having children, paying bills, and being a family is you acting white. So you got to understand what men are up against. They're up against the culture, and you can't win. You're just an individual. So be an individual and take your individual ass to another country and find something better. Let's continue.
I do hear a lot of people, they switching over from Sosua, right? So they switching over from the Dominican Republic to Colombia.
Yeah, niggas destroyed Sosua. Once niggas found out about, because they have a lot of brothels there, so it's a lot of prostitution. But there are still good local women. A lot of people don't go there to get married, but yeah, it's flooded with niggas from Philly. All up and down the East Coast, they just flood the Dominican Republic. And because Dominicans are dark too, they kind of blend in, but it does get dangerous now because of the crime, because niggas will wear all their jewelry and change and be flexing on these people like they're back in the U.S. You don't have to do that. The same way people are going to envy you and want to rob you in America, and they do it, they'll do it somewhere else too. Don't rub it in. Live and be normal. You don't have to do all that extra bullshit. You're not in New York, sir. Don't act like it. Do better.
And now from Colombia over to Thailand. And I've also heard some passport bros, I forgot some of their names, but I've also heard some of the passport bros and some of the guys that have channels that's dedicated to it, speaking about how certain places are becoming saturated, that the locals or the people there are starting to get sick of it and stuff like that, or some people want the money, but they don't necessarily want the craziness that goes along with it.
And that's the thing. Anywhere that you're going to have Americans, you're going to have egos, you're going to have arrogance, you're going to have issues. Americans are going to clash with locals and they're going to clash with each other. The same way Californians are going to be in Texas and they're going to clash with each other. They're going to clash with Texans if they don't have the right, they don't have the right attitude. It's the same thing. Anywhere you go. In certain countries, you're seeing YouTubers that are meeting up to fist fight each other. These places are not used to seeing combat between giant niggas. These people, if you're in Southeast Asia, the average man is about 5'5". The average nigga in America is about 6 foot. I mean, some of us are like 6'2", 280. There's not much you're going to. That's as close to 100 versus a gorilla you're going to really see in real life. So when they see us fighting in their police, it takes 20, 30 police because they can't really. That's embarrassing and it's obnoxious. Also, when you see them making these videos, trying to get content, I'll give you an example. One of the people that Anton is probably describing, that other people that he doesn't realize, his name is Johnny Somali in South Korea. And local Korean men have been kicking his ass lately because he's been out there making a mockery of their country for content, and he's been monetizing it on YouTube. The locals are seeing it, and they're hearing about it, they're getting tired of it, and they're done with it. Personally, even though I moved out of the country, I don't make passport bro content, but maybe I should. I don't know. I don't hear a lot of direct shooters anymore. I like Skyler, but he's on the fence if he wants to live abroad or live in the U.S. And he's in Texas right now too. Maybe I should hit him up. But because I was planning on going to one of his boat parties, but when I was back in Colombia, he had just came back here, so I didn't go. But I was planning on flying down to Brazil. Me and my boy Mo, we're gonna fly from Cartagena to Rio so we can go to his boat party because those are legendary from what I hear. It's a whole nother world outside the U.S. If you can just figure out how to make a little bit of money, you can lower your expenses by 1/10 and live in another country and live in a whole new world. And you'll live a lot longer than you will in the U.S. The violence over here, and then the suicide rates from men getting taken to the cleaners in divorces and their children taken away from them. It's just not worth it. The juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore. So, okay, let's finish seeing what this gay dude's going. Let's see what else he's going to say. Because he makes a lot of comments, a little jokes and stuff, which is fine. He's gay. I mean, if I was him, I would hate too. I mean, there's nothing could be more probably just, think about it. You don't even like women, so you're never going to have children, never going to have a family, so life's got to suck. So imagine being trapped in his body like that. So I can understand his misery.
And that is becoming more of a reign that the government is capitalizing off of. And another thing that I also heard was that there was a lot of setups that was happening in Colombia in particular.
See, hearing stuff is one thing, but that's not true. I'm hearing there when you do the research, there's more of that going on in Atlanta and Los Angeles than there is in Colombia. Don't get me wrong. There are girls that go out and they find there was an Asian dude, 1 or 2 people I heard that were Asian. They got drugged, but I'm hearing the same things going on in the U.S. and it happens everywhere. You just have to be precautious of who you're dealing with, And then also you're not there. You don't know the backstories. It's not what it seems. There's a lot of men that complied with the 2021 mandates that are flying to these other countries. A clot is developing in their leg and it's traveling up to their heart. So when they land, they're there for 2 days and then they have a pulmonary embolism. And people are like, oh my God, he's in another country. Maybe one of them girls drugged him. It's not the case. He did something he shouldn't have did in 2021 because he was already interested in traveling. He thought he was going to need to do what Fauci said he was going to need to do so he could travel. And that's where they got a lot of us. They told you you're going to need to travel. Now, when I say us, I mean you. Remember, if you guys have been watching my other channels, I lost everything and I lost all my channels because I told you not to take it. You shouldn't have. So people are blaming those deaths on women drugging people in other countries, and they're lying to you. They're just covering up for Bill Gates and Fauci. So keep that in mind. That's not what these men are dying from. They're not being set up. That's not what's happening. And I hang out in the hood in Colombia. I hang out with little YNs and all these different people in Colombia. It's not like that. It's not like in the American culture. Yeah, they want money, but they don't need to rob and kill you to make money. They're capitalists also. They'll rather just work. Life is simple there. They don't need a lot of money to get women. A lot of violence in America is centered around access to women because you need a lot of money to get the best looking women in America. That's not the case in these other countries, so people aren't really willing to blow your brains out just so that they can have access to some high quality vagina like they would here in New York or Los Angeles. So you also have to keep that in mind as well. Listen to my words, replay this video. I just told you what's happening. Men in America literally off each other every day and go to prison so that because they're trying to get access to bigger money so they can have higher end vagina access, better looking women. In Colombia, the most beautiful women you don't need all that money to have access to. You can live, you can survive. You don't got to go out there and sell crack. You want to sell some rocks? You want to sell a little bit of meth? Huh? You want to get a little fit? You don't need to. Just move out of the country and then you can actually enjoy your life without needing a bunch of money and all that pressure and end up in prison. Puff Daddy, with all that money, he could be living right now in Colombia on the beach. But instead, he's living in a prison. Why? Addicted to America. He doesn't need to live in America to make money. Neither did Tory Lanez. But no one had this talk with them. I'm having this talk with you. I don't know how many people are going to see this video, but this video might save your life one day. You're welcome. My other video saved your life when that's why you didn't comply in 2021. You're welcome for that too.
I didn't hear about it anywhere else. I actually last year I did a video on how everything was being set up, and I did it on the Millionaire Morning Show about when people travel into Colombia, there was warnings from the government there, both here and there, that to be careful because there's a lot of guys that was getting set up, robbed, one person wound up going missing and stuff like that. So
that's a big problem in Mexico. It's not a huge problem in South America. And Colombia is a very big, beautiful country. That's not what's happening. Just like some places, there's men who are very flashy. Somebody can pull up on a motorcycle and steal your phone, steal your chain if they want to. It can happen anywhere. You just want to make sure you're not taunting people. If you're in Los Angeles and you're wearing a big ass chain, you're going to get robbed and probably unalived. I'm from LA. Somebody like me would have knocked your head off. And there's really not much you can do against me. A lot of men aren't as big as me anyway. So what are you going to do? There's not much you can do. In South America, it's the same thing. Anywhere you go is the same thing. How about not make yourself look like bait? How about take all that shit off? What are you doing? You're trying to attract women, but you're really just attracting men who want to rob you. Do better.
I'm just trying to understand the culture so that when we have these conversations.
Anton, look at that smile on this nigga. Anton, buddy, I know why you're asking these questions. And I've explained it to the audience. I'm happy to talk to you and come on your show. I admire what you do, and I'm willing to explain to you everything. Actually, like I said, I live in Colombia. I was living in Europe, and then I was living in the U.S. So I've been in these different places. I speak 5 languages, so I can explain to you the culture and explain to you why we're doing what we do. And hopefully he watches this video and then he'll understand a little bit better. But like I said, some of these, the gay dude right here, he's bringing a little bit of attention, but he's not really saying nothing that's breaking news. He's speaking from a woman's perspective. These are straight men, gay dude. They don't want you anyway. These are not men you are going to have access to. But see, in America, he don't know which men are actually down low or not. But if they're in Colombia looking for women, Spanish women, then they're obviously not interested in a black woman. And they're especially not interested in some gay, buckethead black man. Definitely not. So this is why he is sitting up here looking so perturbed and, and confused. But that's just the facts of it.
We have these conversations. We can speak more effectively to it. Let me play the rest of this video and get the context, and then we're going to go from there. right?
That is my first time in Cartagena. I don't know what to expect. I just think
Is it Cartagena or is it Cartagena? I don't know.
It's Cartagena. The G makes an H sound in Spanish, so it's Cartagena.
I don't know how to pronounce it or anything like that.
I've been to Colombia before. But
Why would you be in Cali, Colombia, when there's Bogota, Medellin, and Cartagena? Obviously, you must have went to Cali. You thought there were a lot of black people there, and you were going to be welcome with your black ass. You're an American. You're not Colombian. Colombians are not black. They're Colombian. Black is a term worldwide that means you're confused. If you're calling yourself a color, but you don't have a nationality, then you're confused. In the UN, you're not even considered a human if you're calling yourself a color. That's why the only people that do it are in America, and they typically don't leave America. People from other countries, whether dark skin or not, they don't call themselves a color. So that's what makes it hard for blacks in America to go be around other people, because they think, oh, we're all black. Africans don't even call themselves black. Africans call themselves Ghanaian, Kenyans, Nigerians. They have a country, they have a flag, they have a language, they have a people. A color is for when you're confused and you don't have anything. And you've been brainwashed to hate the United States. So you don't want to call yourself American. But yet you can't even get out of the country being a black. There's no passport that just says stamp black. You're either an American or you're not. If you don't want to be an American, don't get a fucking passport. But if you're going to get a passport, you're going to realize and have to acknowledge that I am an American. You're not a black. There is no such thing as a black. Keep that in mind also when we're talking about these other countries.
that I was coming to the movies. That's what the fuck was going on. You know? Anybody with a peon, any type of peon of a brain could see what the fuck is going on.
How the fuck am I only... The video is only 9 minutes. It's barely 10-minute long video with Anton. How the fuck did I turn it into a 51-minute video so far? You know, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of explainings to do. There's a lot of explaining to do. There's a lot of nuance that needs to be understood by people that nobody wants to talk about. I don't have any shame. I'll literally talk about anything with anybody at any time of the day. So that's why I got to do more videos. I just have a life, and you know, I party. When I leave here, I'm already having drinks. I'm about to go to this other Cinco de Mayo event. You know, you got to do, you know, when in Rome. Until I get back over there, I'm doing what I got to do over here to have a good time. So don't judge me.
Down there in Cartagena, when you walking down the streets, the women is literally pulling on you, winking, calling you. They're trying to get. They working.
It's no different than the women in Las Vegas. When they see you and they think you got a nice car, they wink and they wave and they smile. I pull up to a club in LA, they wink, they wave, they smile. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona, they wink, they wave, they smile. I'm in Georgia, I'm in Texas, I'm in New York. They wink, they wave, they smile. I'm in Miami. There's nothing unique or special about these women. What do you mean they're working? All women are working. They're working you. You don't know that because you're gay. Men, what they call it, bussy. Bussy is free. Literally, they have rest stops. And I only know this because I've seen there's something about Mary a few times. You can pull up to a truck stop, a rest area, and there's bathrooms. And there's just nothing but gay dudes in there smacking each other up and down, and then they will go on about their business. You live in a different world than I do, senor. You don't understand how hard it is, difficult it is for men dealing with women. You live in the world of rest stops, and you have Grindr, where you don't know what to do, God, or all them other diseases. But guess what? He'll meet up with you in a subway bathroom for 5 minutes at 4 a.m. And the people are knocking on the door so you can come in there and mop, and you in there getting all the monkeypox. You live in a different world than Rico. You live in a different world than a single boyfriend. You're not going to understand me in my life. So you're sitting up here talking about the girls are working. Brother, you're working. You're just working for free. You're no different than them girls. You're just doing it pro bono. The women are like, look, at least take me out for dinner. What's the difference in America? You got to take her out for food. You got to go feed her at a restaurant. You go take her out for drinks. Then you go to the club. Then you might got to go to the after hours. How much do that cost? If you're a dude like me, that could be anywhere from $700 to $1,000 a night. In Colombia, I'm looking at $100, a max $150 for a bomb fun night with beautiful women out and food, drinks, everything. United States can't compete. It can't compete, but it's the same thing as the U.S. Just makes more sense fiscally. This makes more sense fiscally. Let's see here. Where was I at? Right here.
Up to 70, bitch. They out there hunting pets. Oh, look at the cat. I was crazy. And as I'm listening to them, like as I'm in these lines and I'm listening, because I know it's a bitch I want to listen. I'm listening to them talking about how they travel throughout Colombia and they go to these different cities and they don't like this city because of this and they said it because of that. Y'all,
that's crazy.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I don't want this to be true, but it's true. Unfortunately, it's true.
What don't you believe? What don't you want to believe? That black men don't want black American women no more? Well, believe it. Black American women hang out with you. I'll see a group of pretty sisters and they got one punk in their group. And I'm sitting here like, you know what? Even if I'm having an after party and I want to invite y'all to come through, because one of y'all look good enough to me and my friends, the fact that you got one dude that's gay in your group, I now cannot invite y'all, because if somebody shows up to my house and they're like, oh yeah, I'm over here partying with Rico. Oh, what the fuck? Is he here for you, Rick? Oh, that nigga. Next thing you know, Rico got his boyfriend. You gotta think about it. I'm from LA, right? So me and my cousins, we make fun of each other. We clown each other. They see one of my videos and I got a bunch of bad bitches. And then there's one extra slim dude with big old eyes doing all that. The video, nigga gonna be like, nigga, that's who was here for you. Not the bad bitch. They was here. That was. So I'm like, look, my cousin and them clown, I couldn't do it no more. I had to tell. I broke up with the chick because her best friend was this gay dude. I'm like, look, you can't roll with him everywhere and they want to come with me because he thinks he's a girl. So when I'm at the bar buying you a drink, that nigga's sitting there like this, salivating. I'm like, bro, I'm not, you a nigga. You a whole man. I'm not buying you a drink. I'm not. So now she's mad because I want to buy her girlfriend a drink. That is a dude. It's not a girl. I don't want to have these conversations and these arguments. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave the country. In other countries, the gay, trans, all this weird black shit is not normal and it's not accepted. Other places, we're leaving to escape that. We're avoiding that. We're tired of the gay shit. The gay shit is done. We don't want to be around it. It's weird. I'm not going to lie, bro. When I was younger, I was living in California, right? My uncle Franzel, he was like, I can't stand these gay dudes. I'll be trying. My auntie said, man, try to hit him with a car. And I was like, oh, man, maybe because you don't like gay dudes, because maybe you got a little. That's brainwashing from California. That's Californian brainwashing. It's not actually accurate. Sometimes you just don't like that lifestyle because you know what comes with it. They're not necessarily into men only. They're also into kids. So you know that about these people. It's just not popular to say that, so you don't. But you don't want to be around them and you don't want to get into it with them. It's your personal preference. So it doesn't mean that you have something going on or maybe you got something. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. But people that say that because they want to manipulate you into accepting something that you have that you shouldn't accept. It won't work on me. So it's not going to work. So I'm like, look, that's your, and they have sticky fingers too. I remember one of them picked up some little cheap shades and walked like he's one of the girls. You're not. But they want to hang out with them. They run them in the group. And now a lot of these women are like, I can't even meet a dude because I try to go hang out with them and I'm bringing my girls, but your girls include a dude. And then the guys y'all trying to see are like, hey, bro, you got to get him out of here unless he's paying for his own drinks. And even then, we don't want him in our group because when y'all come back to the Airbnb after and it's time to smack, he's in the other room. Nobody's fucking him. Guess what he's doing? Thinking to himself, I need to get something out of this. I'm not getting nothing. Next thing you know, he's trying to steal stuff. Like, you can't have them at your Airbnb either. People don't want to talk about how it really goes in the real world. Am I the only connection you guys have to reality? If I am, just say that and I'll, oh my God. This is my ex-girlfriend. I'm not even hungry. She went to Whataburger. Danielle, if you want to bring something over here, bring. No, Danielle, come talk.
No, I don't want to talk to nobody.
I don't want.
You can talk to all private shit.
Am I lying though?
I ain't say that.
Okay then. Were me and you not together for a long time?
Thank you. You ain't say
I'm not. I just put the bag down. Thank you, Danielle, but I'm not hungry.
give it back.
I'm not giving it back. I'm putting it in the refrigerator. I have a refrigerator right here. Danielle, let me ask you a question. Were we not together for a very long time? Do you think that you appreciated me when we were together as much as you should have?
No.
Okay. Well then look, okay, at least you guys know it wasn't always like this for me. I had hope, and when I met her, I was a different type of person. After a long time of being mistreated and unappreciated and taken for granted, I decided I'm not the one at your house right now. I'm doing it.
Don't do that.
She said it's not, she said it was vice versa. But if it was vice versa, then you wouldn't be here at my house right now. That's not true. I would be somewhere else. I wouldn't be at your house. If I felt like you if I felt mistreated. But Danielle, what I'm saying is that if I felt what I'm saying is this: if I felt mistreated by you, I wouldn't be at your house. So you can't feel mistreated by me because you're here. That's my point. I must have not been that bad because you're here. And matter of fact, she was naked in my bed last night. Public hairs everywhere, armpit hair as well, but nipples. No, I'm just saying you were naked in my bed. Okay, so obviously I wasn't that bad when we were together, or you would not even be, you would be sleeping on the couch upstairs. You wouldn't even want to be in my room because I'm a horrible person. Obviously, I'm not a horrible person. I'm what? I'm what? Bacon. It's okay, Daddy. Come here, Papa. Come here, Daddy. Come here, Bacon. Thank you, man. That's my boy. See, Bacon is my dude. He heard her talking bad about me, and he went to go make sure she knows not to lie. Thank you, Bacon. Now I don't know what's in here, but guess what, Bacon? You get half. There you go. French fries. Bacon got a bunch of French fries. I loved how Bacon just stood up for me, because nobody else is gonna stand up for me and say, "Hey, you know, he was there for you, took care of you, your family, anything you needed for years." You did not agree with me on anything. No, you didn't. You don't think I was mistreated? Let me tell you guys. No, I don't. And let me tell you guys. Let me tell you this. Yes, I did. And the thing is, I actually left her and moved to Texas and I lived at a hotel because I didn't want to go home because she told me to move out of my own home. She kicked me out of my own house in Arizona. And I was like, no, because you had a drinking problem.
No, you fell in love with somebody that you had three people with.
No, well, Danielle, who did I fall in love with and move out here with?
Nicole.
I moved. Nicole lives in Houston. Nicole lives in Houston. That's right, Bacon. Bacon is on that ass. Bacon. I don't know what other Nicole you're talking about. What about my brother's wife? Bacon. This is Bacon. Come here, Daddy. I got some French fries for you, Bacon. Come here. You did a good job. Come here, Bacon. Good boy. Bacon. Bacon.
Come on, let us fight.
Bacon. It's French fries. Bacon earned some French fries. I hit you with one French fry in accident. And look, the violence of the American woman it should be studied. She's threatening me right now to beat me senselessly. I don't know if you guys seen the movie Roots, but she just threatened me with the same thing that Alex Haley did to I don't know if it was rug breaking or what they called it, but she's threatening me with some American style violence. Yes, what'd you say? She's 900 pounds. I don't know if you guys seen Precious, but she was the stunt double. She was Precious and stunt double. Okay, anyway, we're getting away from the topic. My personal relationship it's a big example. I don't have no shame in talking about my life and my relationships. I have a show that I'm doing called All My Exes. And I'm just basically doing episodes where I call women that I used to like date or be with and they just tell me how much, what went wrong with us, and they can talk to each other too. They used to know each other. They can all speak to each other, bro, and they can hash out differences. It's not like any of them have moved on and got married to somebody better than me, because you can't, because this is America. There's no incentive in love. The incentive is in robbing. And if you can't find somebody to rob, then you're not going to even pretend you're in love. Like Devin Haney's girl who's cheating on him. So I know that's crazy. Devin Haney just caught a stray from Rico, which is insane. But
they all had on these fake chains. You could tell they were so fake because they were so bright. They were supposed to.
Why would anybody wear real jewelry, even in America, knowing that somebody with a blower is going to come up to you and try to blow smack your brains all over the place to take it? Bro, you are gay. Well, you don't understand what it's like to be a straight man in this world. You're gay. Nobody's robbing people at gay clubs. Until that happens, you don't understand why you need fake jewelry.
Be like silver or platinum, but they was just so fucking bright. They looked like fucking aluminum on their neck. And everybody had these fake.
He dissing. Why he dissing? Come on, man. Just
diamond chains on. I said, I don't want to be here. Until I got off the plane, I said, can you bring me back? Bring me to another destination.
And listen, fam. I'm gonna reserve my full thoughts until tomorrow, but I am curious. What do you guys think about there being an explosion, so to speak? No pun intended. There being an explosion of guys getting their passport, and I'm sure they're influenced by what is going on the internet.
Anton, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Actually, I've explained it throughout this video. Now, I know you're a busy man. You don't have time to watch some segments by little old me. One day, maybe, but not today, but one day. But I've explained it all in detail. I can give you footnotes, but we're avoiding the culture, the gay culture and the black woman culture. Men are avoiding it. That's the explosion. Men figured out they don't have to deal with it no more. You no longer have to end up like Iman Shumpert or Shannon Sharp, because those two men have something in common. American women. You can do better and you can get the same nut. You know what? Who talks about it? What's his name? Mr. Let Go, Aaron. Me and him did a talk the other day, and he had like this thing called the CPN, a cost per nut analysis. When you go to another country, it drops substantially. So there's more funds in your pocket that you can do things with, and you're not being over leveraged by women, because as a man, women make up about 95% of your life. Even your children who you love and adore come from women. So you got to understand there's no life without women. What you have to do is you just have to find new women in a different life. So you got to make things happen. Yeah. Why, Danielle? Because you have a mustache and I used to fuck you? Yeah. I don't know. I guess. I mean, that's fine too. Whatever you say. I just said you need new women. So you have to go where other women are. You have to get out of this pool that you're here in the U.S. It's just not substantial, and it's hard to sustain it long term. It's too risky also. It's a bad investment, these women here. So anyway, like and subscribe, share the video. I'm going to tag Anton Daniels in the video. Not that he needs it, but we're going to go ahead and tag him anyway. He's a good guy. And whenever he's available, I'm more than happy to come on the show and we can talk about it publicly if he has questions. Not saying he needs it for himself, but, tomorrow's going to come. And guess what? I'll still be here because I don't go to the places where you get deleted every day just to look for those women. It's safer the way I do things. So share the video, the single boyfriend. And I'm going to go ahead and come up with, we'll be back with another segment in about 2 hours. I'm going to have some drinks and I'll be back a little lit and we're going to go over some other topics. Cheers.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.